Coming up, shocking allegations in a new lawsuit involving a nearly one-year-old high-profile murder case.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. A recent wrongful death lawsuit unveils startling allegations in the case of Amber Spradlin's death in Floyd County. It comes as we approach the one-year anniversary of the murder that shocked folks in and around Prestonsburg. The Lexington Herald Leader reports Michael McKinney Jr., the son of an Eastern Kentucky business owner, is accused in the lawsuit of fatally stabbing Spradlin and obstructing the investigation. But it is very important to note, nobody is facing charges in this case and no arrests have been made. The incident occurred at the home of Michael McKinney Sr., a dentist and restaurant owner. The lawsuit also implicates other current and former local officials and public agencies, citing negligence and mishandling of 911 dispatch services. Filed by Melissa Sammons, the lawsuit seeks compensation for Spradlin's estate and punitive damages. We hope to have much more on this in the days to come. 2 people are dead after a crash involving an ambulance in Buchanan County, Virginia. It happened around 5 this evening on Route 460, about a half mile from the intersection with Rock Lick Road. Police say the ambulance was hit by a vehicle after it crossed the center line. The driver and passenger in that vehicle died at the scene. The driver, passenger, and a patient in the ambulance were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No names have been released. 4 Kentucky churches are preparing to hold a conference. Its goal to teach church leaders about the importance of having a safety ministry within their own congregations. Tonight, Jeremy Toms has a look ahead to the event from Clays Mill Baptist Church in Nicholasville.
It was around a decade ago when retired KSP trooper Tim Hazlett helped form a safety ministry at Clays Mill Baptist Church.
Nationally, there have been more instances than we like to think about.
Instances including a shooting at Joel Osteen's Houston megachurch earlier this year, where a place of worship becomes a target.
Rather than to wait for something bad to happen, our pastor and the leadership here thought it would be prudent to go ahead and implement something here.
The team Hazlett built is dozens strong, with 6 to 8 people on hand for Sunday service and other gatherings.
Our job is to just be watchful.
Now they're hosting a conference on safety, hoping to impart what they've learned on other church leaders who are doing something similar.
It covers 4 basic tenets, that is prevention, preparation, response, and recovery.
Clays Mill Baptist is partnering with several local churches as well as the national faith-based security network. Hazlett understands that violence seen around the country can make the public anxious about going to church. So their hope is to help put people at ease.
If it will assist a church to build confidence and create a safe environment for their congregants to come to church in, then that's really the goal for this.
In Nicholasville, Jeremy Toms, WKYT.
That conference will be held on Saturday, June 22nd and costs $35 to attend. Hazlett says all denominations are welcome, but if you are coming, you must pre-register online.
My goodness, we had a nice amount of rain across eastern Kentucky, and it's still coming down at this hour. Take a look here at some of the rainfall totals as of the top of the hour. Some of the big winners here: Prestonsburg, 89/100 of an inch there, 57/100 of an inch in Monticello, 87/100 of an inch in Williamsburg, Lexington, 86/100 of an inch of rain, London, just over 3/4 of an inch. There's a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you can see that rain is pushing its way across eastern Kentucky, and this is going to be the trend as we go into the next several hours. And this is just one part of it. The other part will push through in the overnight hours. We made it into the 80s today. Harlan, oh so close to 90. 89 was your high. 86 in Manchester, 85 London, as well as Jackson, 86 in Prestonsburg. Pikeville made it to 84, and right now we're seeing temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Now, rain chances are in the forecast for tomorrow. We will clear out, and there's plenty of sunshine somewhere on the 7-day, and we'll talk about that in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve, over to you.
All right, Eric, thanks. President Biden addressed one of his most pressing political liabilities today, the migrant crisis, ahead of the November election. The president unveiled sweeping changes to the decades-old asylum system. The rate of illegal crossings has fallen from its peak this past winter, but remains historically high. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
With agents overwhelmed on the southern border, President Biden announced plans for sweeping new restrictions on migrants seeking asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border.
To protect America as a land that welcomes immigrants, we must first secure the border and secure it now.
The plan would allow immigration officials to quickly deport migrants who enter the U.S. without an asylum appointment when the weekly average of illegal daily entries exceeds 2,500. The move comes months before Election Day and follows the collapse of a bipartisan border security deal. President Biden argues congressional inaction left him no choice.
I'm moving past Republican obstruction and using the executive authorities available to me as president to do what I can on my own to address the border.
Republicans, including Texas Governor Greg Abbott, argue the new policy comes too late and doesn't go far enough.
After the first 2,500, they say that they will stop providing asylum, but they don't say they will stop illegal immigration from coming across the border.
Joanna Williams, who runs the Kino Border Initiative serving migrants in Nogales, Mexico, spoke to CBS News' Lilia Luciano.
Different policies of deterrence have been in effect for over 20 years here at the border, and what they lead to is an increase in deaths. Their other option is to try to go out into the desert and avoid fighting Border Patrol, and this is 2 days before our first heat wave of the summer.
With the most recent numbers showing an average of 3,800 illegal border crossings a day, the new action is set to take effect right away. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
The American Civil Liberties Union says it will sue the Biden administration over this executive action on immigration, calling a ban on asylum illegal. The House of Representatives passes a bill to sanction officials in the International Criminal Court. This move comes in the aftermath of the court saying it is seeking an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The ICC prosecutor previously said the court wants to charge Netanyahu and others. The charges would be for war crimes and crimes against humanity linked to the October 7th attacks and the war in Gaza. The bill is expected to go to the Senate, where it is unlikely the democratically controlled chamber will take it up. Earlier today, community members in Corbin celebrated a new center designed to provide senior citizens the at-home care they need. Located at the Tri-County Square Shopping Center, the Mountain View PACE Center provides medical services to senior citizens without them needing to go to a nursing home. Corbin Mayor Susie Rasmus says having the center is a unique opportunity for the city to help support senior citizens in need and their families.
I'm really excited for our community, to be able to utilize this building to its full effect, because it really is going to impact these people's lives for the better.
The center will begin providing its services on July 1st. There's also going to be a center opening in Pikeville tomorrow. Officials with ARH and Hazard and Perry County community members gathered today for an open house at the Hazard ARH Psychiatric Center, which covers 21 counties in the Commonwealth. Senate President Robert Stivers, State Representative Chris Fugit, Perry County Judge Executive Scott Alexander, and Hazard Mayor Happy Mobilini were just a few in attendance. ARH President and CEO Holly Harris says it's exciting to see people come together for one project.
To see a project like this recovery mall come to light is truly amazing, and just first-class services that we're now able to offer right here locally. And like you said, not just for Perry County, but for all 21 counties that we serve throughout the region.
Harris says it's their goal as Appalachian Regional Health Care to not only provide high-quality physical health care, but also mental health care. The treatment mall is open from 8:30 to 6:30, Monday through Friday. The American Healthcare Association filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Health and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services after they proposed a staffing mandate that AHCA says could force nursing facilities to shut down, specifically those that accept Medicaid. WYMT Washington correspondent Ashanti Ford was on Capitol Hill with advocates who say HHS is exceeding their authority.
The American Healthcare Association said that hundreds of nursing home facilities will be forced to close their doors because they can't afford to keep up with a mandate that says Medicaid nursing facilities must be fully staffed to remain open. And as a result, they say nearly 300,000 residents will be displaced.
Unfortunately, access to care has already become more difficult because of the historic challenges we've had since the pandemic. The staffing rule only makes matters worse. Across our skilled nursing facilities, 1,500 positions remain unfilled. It's dangerous and unnecessary to make it harder for rural seniors to access care in communities like Howard Lake when we already provide exceptional quality care today, with a team that is dedicated to our mission and treats residents like members of their own family.
Members of the Good Samaritan Society are joining hundreds of others on Capitol Hill to ask lawmakers to intervene. Many of them saying that it could take up to a year to find qualified healthcare workers in rural nursing facilities. In Washington, Ashanti Ford.
Senate leadership is pushing to protect access to contraception nationally. Democrats say with Roe v. Wade overturned, Congress needs to protect women's access to contraception. Republicans say this is a political ploy ahead of election season. A bill set for a vote in the Senate would prohibit state restrictions on access to contraception, protecting women seeking care, and providers from legal penalties. Democrats want to force a vote on a similar package in the House.
I will not stand idly by and watch extreme politicians interfere with women's private health care choices.
This is a life. This is a life. Does anyone say that that child is not a life? How could you not?
The Senate is expected to vote on the bill Wednesday. If the Senate passes the plan, it would go to the Republican-controlled House. A London police officer is being honored for his life-saving actions. On January 23rd, Corporal Ben Webb responded to a call for an 18-year-old with a serious injury to his leg. Corporal Webb applied a tourniquet to stop the bleeding, ultimately saving the young man's life. Corporal Webb was honored during London's City Council meeting recently with a life-saving medal. Governor Andy Beshear awarded the 2024 Governor's Ambassador Award to 6 state employees and the Kentucky State Police Post 13 in Hazard. The awards honor employees for their exceptional service in several categories. They include community service, courage, customer service, leadership, professional achievement, and teamwork. The governor commended the more than 30,000 state employees for their contributions. The Personnel Cabinet received more than 110 nominations this year. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, a concert moment and an unforgettable memory for one Johnson County graduate.
And rain chances continue throughout the evening and overnight hours. We will get a little bit of a break, but the question is when? I'll have that answer in the First Alert forecast on the other side of the break. Stay with us.